we do, and we just rehearsed it and see.
Good morning.
Morning.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For spirit, God's spirit is in this very room. In this very room, yes, oh yes. In this very room. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you. We have an opening song now, too. I don't know. What do you want to do? We're going to do an opening song. It's being decided right now. Spirit is letting us know. We're waiting for that text to come.
Okay.
Anything that comes to mind.
You touch the joy.
We touch the joy.
You touch the joy.
You touch the joy.
So I'm looking at what this song can represent. And it actually can represent everyone. However, there are special people in our lives. And those that touch us, they just touch us. They touch our hearts. They make us smile. And when we see them, it opens our hearts to be better with other people. So this is that song. Did I write this song, John?
I don't know.
I think this might be one
I
of them.
think so, yeah.
Yeah. You touch the joy.
Does it have different parts, or we teach it right?
If it's going to be something other than joy, you'll hear me say something like peace. That's probably it. Okay. But I'm going to start it out.
Gee,
You touch the joy inside of me. You touch the joy inside of me. Now your turn. You touch the joy inside of me. You touch the joy inside of me. One more time. You touch the joy inside of me. You touch the joy inside of me. One more time. You touch the joy inside of me. You touch the joy inside of me. Peace. You touch the peace inside of me. You touch the peace inside of me. touch the peace inside of me. You touch the peace inside of me. Love. You touch the love inside of me. 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 One more time. You touch the love inside of me. You touch the love inside of me. Yes.
And the other part. You touch the love. Yeah, okay.
Let's do love again. But I'm gonna change. You're my choir, okay? So we'll start with love. You touch the love inside of me. You touch the love inside of me. You touch the love. You touch the love inside of me. You touch the love. You touch the love. Joy, same way. You touch the joy inside of me. You touch the joy inside of me. You touch the joy. You touch the joy. You touch the joy. You touch the joy. Peace. You touch the peace inside of me. 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 Keep on, peace. You touch the peace. You touch the peace. You touch the peace inside of me. You touch the peace inside of me. You touch the peace. You touch the peace. You touch the peace. You touch the peace. Love. You touch the love. You touch the love. You touch the love. You touch the love inside of me. 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 Thank you, choir.
Beautiful. Thank you. The reading. Oh, Jeff, yeah. There you go.
Okay. All right. Hello. I'm Jeffrey Bruno, and I get a chance to do the reading today. And this one, John, I think, I don't know if he selected, he said it was a good one, but I find it personally very helpful. So the quote on the top, attributed to Lao Tzu, is, "Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime." And our wise Ernest Holmes said, "The very judgment by which we judge others becomes a self-judgment." And so we live in times of brutal division. Social media created a whole new terrain we must navigate. We will scroll across heaven and hell. Over time, we've normalized the choice to cross to the other side of the road, away from the injured or differing beliefs with a righteous zeal. As bodhisattvas, we can give perceptions of the other to prayer, not a punitive or passive-aggressive prayer, but a Samaritan-themed prayer, a prayer spoken from Christ consciousness. May peace fill you. May love live in your heart. May you be well. May peace fill me. May love live in my heart. May love be restored within all. Healthy helping expands beautifully through conscious participation with the principles of rhythm. There is an understanding of creation as fluid. Ebbs happen and flows are assumed. Someone in an ebb state is not inferior to someone in a flow state. Unhealthy helping could perpetuate suffering when the helper becomes attached to their role. Spiritual teacher Ram Dass, formerly psychologist Richard Alpert, who with Timothy Leary kind of got kicked out of Harvard for launching the LSD revolution, he shared how in the early years of his psychotherapy practice, he would observe himself growing resentful when patients got better. It felt like a threat to him as a helper. He was becoming so attached to that form that he feared the uncertainty of what would happen to him if that form began to dissolve. Attachment to the role of helper needs others to be compliant in their role to needing help. Doing so creates toxic codependency. So the people committed to a life of service oftentimes don't know what to do when they don't feel needed. Right? A bodhisattva model, instead, provides healthy helping through empowerment, beyond the familiar proverb that encourages us to teach another how to fish. This helper offers sacred reminders that the one in need knows just as well as they do. And so the affirmation is, today I help another remember their magnificence.
Okay.
Okay. So I did not have the opportunity, or let's say I did not take the opportunity to say, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, yes, thank you. That feels good. Okay. For some reason, I'm not sure what the word is, sensitive, on the edge of crying when I'm singing. So if I have to stop for a minute, just be patient. Some songs just touch me, and it brings something from deep within. There's nothing I can do about it except keep singing. So thank you, each one of you, for being here. This is the song, The Rose. Sung by Bette Midler. Okay. Some say love is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say that love, it is a razor that leads your soul to bleed. Some say that love, it is a hunger and endless aching need. But I say that love, it is a flower, and each one of you is its only seed. It's a heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been so lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong. Just remember, in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose, becomes the rose, becomes the beautiful rose, becomes the
Beautiful. Thanks again, Meredith. That was
Thank you, Jim.
amazing.
I'm getting used to this now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to San Francisco Center. You all are unique in the fact that you have chosen to be open and receptive to growth and expansion at a time when you could be collecting a few more Z's and resting. You said, you know what? No, my body needs more. My mind needs more. My heart needs more. my soul craves more. And so something gets us up. They had a song we used to sing. He used to say, something woke me up this morning, this morning, this morning. Something woke me up this morning. It must have been, it had to be, I know it was the hand of the Lord. While I was sleeping, there was something that was creeping. While I was sleeping. I'm just feeling blessed. I do. I'm just feeling blessed. I'm looking at all the faces. I'm good to see you, Linda. LPP, thank you for being with us today. Tylee is in the house. Mashburn's in the house. Bruno's in the house. These wonderful people. I saw you here last week. You're back in the house. Yeah, everybody, God bless you. If I don't call you, just God bless you. I love you. I'm feeling good, man. I'm just continuing to surrender my life. So this month, just so you know, the topic is the unstatus quo. We'll get into that in a bit. Let's start with never doubt.
Never doubt.
That a small group of thoughtful and committed individuals, citizens, can make a difference in the world. Indeed, that's all that ever has. Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm a difference maker. I'm making a difference today. I'm always making a difference. I just can't help myself. Sometimes when I ain't doing nothing at all, I'm still making a difference. It's important to know these things. You know, do you realize when you jump into the ocean, the law of displacement dictates the ocean must open and receive you, and in the process, it raises the tide. Imperceptible to our measurements, but there's something else in there. It's going to raise up, right? We know how it works. You see, you get in a bathtub, it might be a little bit of water, but whoa, maybe that doesn't happen to you. Happens to me all the time. I say, okay, I think I got too much. How do you know? It's splashing out on the floor, right? You know, when the wind blows around you, you're affecting. What's that theory when the butterfly flaps its wings in Japan? They cause a hurricane in New York. We're difference makers, people. Because consciousness is cause and consciousness is what's dictating, and we're talking about othering today. Othering. Can you say othering? Othering is the concept that there's somebody else who's not like me. There's somebody else, and I was reading up on this just so I could know what I was talking about a little bit. And by the time we're 3 years old, it starts early, but by the time we're 3 years old, we've got this idea that there are other people out there who think differently from us, and sometimes they think wrongly from us, and sometimes they say things that aren't true. We notice there's some other people out there, something called the other. Are you with me so far? I can hear the movie title now. It says The Good, the Bad, and the Other. And so, othering is the idea that there's somebody else out there who's different from me, and usually it comes with the preconceived idea about the way things are supposed to be, and the way things are supposed to be, of course, is the way that I am, okay? And if they're not like me, then there's something wrong with the other. Now, if it's not me, if I'm not the standard, if I'm not the norm, that creates another aspect of the other, where the other is superior to me and I'm inferior to it, and that's called self-hatred, self-loathing, and all these other kind of isms that you come up with where you think the dominant paradigm perhaps is better than you. I had a black man tell me one time, and I want to make sure I get this right so you understand I'm not saying this about myself, okay? But he told me that he always believed that the white man's ice was just a little bit colder. Do you understand what he's saying?
Say it again.
He always believed that the white man's ice was just a little bit colder than the ice he had, because everything they had was better than the stuff he had. So their ice must be colder. He has a mindset of other where he's at the inferior end of the spectrum. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see it all the time in different aspects of life, and we don't need to go down that road so much, but you get the idea. I want to get this joke in because it's one of my favorites and I haven't told it in 1,000 years. I hope it fits. If it doesn't fit, you just have to bear with me. This is about othering. At least that's the way I'm framing it. So a man is lost. Could have been a woman. Could have been a child. Could have been another. He's in a desert island. Been lost for 20, 25 years. Finally, he gets rescued. He's so happy to be rescued. And he's got several shelters that he's built on this island. In the 25 years he's there, people say, well, what is all this stuff that you have? He said, oh, well, that's my house right there. He says, okay, and that's my shed I keep provisions in right there. He said, okay. And that's the school I built for myself when I wanted to study things. And I built a church right there when I go and I want to pray. And there's a little, and he started, and there's a gym. When I wanted to work out, I go and that's my gym over there. I said, wow, that's fascinating. What's that building over there? Oh, that over there? Oh, wait, I'm messing up my joke here. Okay, let me get to it. Okay, so, but I can save it. Okay, so then and that's my church right there. That's my church. They said, oh, okay. And what's that building over there? He said, oh, that's the church I used to go to. I'll never go back in there again. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, folks. I'll be here all week.
That made the joke better. The whole presentation.
Well, I did that on purpose. You know, I mean, as a professional, you learn how to do these things, you see. This idea that there's somebody or something out there that's not me. I remember I used to love this, and this is my own growth. I'm just sharing you when I was coming from a painful place. Bill Withers had this song called Lovely Day. And in the song Lovely Day, he's got the line, he says, and someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. You know, and it's kind of sometimes you just feel like, you know, the world's always moved a little fast for me. I realize in retrospect, now that I've been diagnosed with ADD, there was a reason why it was moving fast for me, because most of the time I wasn't here while it was moving. I'd come back and it's gone. Say it was here when I left, or something happened to it. But I got a complex because things were just moving faster than me and had to retreat in my own mind, and I otherized everything. That's how I saved myself, is I just otherized everything. And of course, everything else was not as good as me. Sometimes when we have a superiority complex, like my first teacher told me, a superiority complex is nothing but an inferiority complex whistling in the dark. When you see people up there with a lot of bravado, there's something inside of them that's not being filled. What does it have to do with othering? If you can identify it anywhere else, you can identify it because it exists in you. The expression is, if I spot it, I got it. When the oneness of God and religious science of mind, our philosophy, we believe that God is all there is. Dr. Holmes says, we believe in God, the living spirit almighty, one absolute, indestructible, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through and as all of creation. God manifests God in and through and as all of creation. How much of God is manifested in, through, and as all of creation? All of God. So all of God is always present everywhere. Can you say that?
All of God is always present everywhere.
So if all of God is always present everywhere, there's not a spot where God is not, yes? There's not a spot where the allness of God is not, yes? And therefore, I am the allness of God right here, right now, yes? And you're the allness of God right here, right now, yes? Because there's only one thing present, and that's God expressing. God is expressing as each and every one of us. And so the idea that there can be something outside of myself runs counter to the law that says God is all there is. And you're seeing it now in politics. We see it in gender norms. We see it in just so many different places. We see it, yes? You see it in the Olympics. Nations are going up against each other. You know, like, okay, who's winning the most medals? We just can't come and compete, just have a good time, and just, no. Who got the most medals? I remember when the Cold War was happening, it was a very big deal that we got more gold medals than Russia got. It was a huge thing. Some of us from the 60s, we remember that. Am I the only one? What's that?
I said, well, we do now because they're not there.
Yeah. We got, and that's another thing. It's like we otherize them so bad because of the Ukrainian situation. It's like, okay, you're the other now. The other is usually bad. The other is usually scary. But what this is about, and this conversation has some social justice overtones to it. They're not even overtones. They're direct implications. But here's the thing that's interesting about this particular center. Everybody's welcome here. Everybody knows they're welcome here. We're welcoming everybody regardless of circumstances. I make sure of that. And so a lot of things that are happening in other churches where they're trying to have all this conversation about how would you feel if this particular person came into your building, if that particular person came into your building. This is San Francisco, man. This is like the hub of it all, okay? If it's not happening here, it ain't happening. And so, but I've seen, and I saw the othering split things up during COVID. That's when the othering really showed up. I've seen it with really conservative people show up because, San Francisco's interesting. It is conservative, but it's got that wild side, that seems to be dominant, but there's like an ebb and a flow or a tug of war. If you went to Berkeley, it's the same way. When COVID hit, all these mandates came out. People had attitudes and feelings about everything, to mask or not to mask. Had to stay 6 feet apart. Vaccines were mandatory. Folks couldn't eat, couldn't go to movies, couldn't do a whole bunch of stuff. Folks was mad on both sides, but there was more than one side. Some people just objected to having to take a vaccine at all. And they otherized everybody else. You people have got it backwards. Some people said, but you're risking my life. You remember, right? Yeah. It's difficult sometimes to stand in the oneness when an issue that's personal to you is being affected. It's easy to talk about God as all there is when I don't have a dog in the fight. When I don't have a bone, in the oven. If you don't like dog in the fight, I'm going to take that back. As soon as I said this, I said, see, now you're otherizing dogs and fighting. It's like, It's just so easy to do. Because we can sit back in our comfort zone, and as long as everything is going the way we like it, and we like it the way we like it. Yes? Yeah. And so the way we like it is not disturbed. We were talking about the divine feminine one time. And I didn't feel that comfortable talking about the divine feminine. I appreciate it. I know about it. But a whole month on the divine feminine, I was really intimidated by this. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And I got into trouble talking about the divine feminine. Women have been historically this and women have been historically that. And one woman lit into me and said, that's not the truth about me. I'm like, lady, I'm not trying to say nothing bad about you. Yeah, but you said this about women. She felt otherized. Have you ever felt otherized? How do you handle it when you feel otherized? What's the solution for feeling otherized? Anybody have any ideas? Because, see, we've all had the feeling of being the other. Yes? But then we've all otherized other people. Yes? Yes. The mere fact that we have the idea that there's some other people out there means we're otherizing all the people we say are other people. Isn't that right? So the idea of oneness is the realization that no matter where you come from, who you are, what your circumstance, what your situation, whatever the heck is going on with you, you and I are one. That there's no separation. And see, this is what empathy and compassion is about. Empathy and compassion happens when I can feel your pain. We are together on this. Yes? The reason we comfort those who mourn is because when we see them mourning, the mirror neurons in our own mind activate the mourning process, and now we are in sync with their mourning, and we're comforting them, and we're comforting us at the same time. Which is another reason why when people are angry, especially if they're angry at us, the mirror neurons say, oh, it's time to get angry and flame on. I might not even care about this, but I don't like the way you're talking to me right now. this level of energy is disrespectful, so now I have to meet it back. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'd like this conversation to be a place where we begin to understand that right where I am, I love this thing called the 11 Laws of God. It's in a book by Raoul Nefer, the Metanouter. It talks about Kemet in Egypt. And 11 Laws of God, the first law, the raw law number is 0, the law of, I'm trying to remember the name of the law. I know what the law is. I'll tell you what the law is so I don't mess up the name. Thank you very much. Because there'll be some experts out there, oh man, you messed it up. You messed it up. No, I'm not going to get otherized by messing up the name. I mean, now I'm otherizing the people that I think might otherize me. Do you see how that works? There's only one of us here. The law says, I come from a peace that's so deep it cannot be disturbed. Can you say that about yourself? I come from a peace that is so deep it cannot be disturbed. It reminds me of the ocean in the fact that there can be a storm raging on the surface with 50-foot swells. But there's a depth to the ocean that is undisturbed by what happens on the surface. My nature, my beingness, is so deep in conscious, so deep in the oneness, that whatever is happening about me, I'm undisturbed. Kipling said, when you can keep your head about you when all others are losing theirs and blaming it on you, this is something to strive for, because if we cannot do this, what begins to happen is we get caught up in the energy, the flavor of the day, the moment. And we're easily manipulated, because what begins to happen, we begin to think our feelings actually are real. But our feelings are made up responses based on how we perceive the world from a very young age, and what our parents taught us, what we learned from society. All these particular things give us predictable behaviors. And we become those predictable behaviors. And we want the world to respond to our predictable behaviors. And then along comes a spider and sits down beside her, and everything is different. I'm asking us right now to look at who we're otherizing in our life. It's easy to otherize politics right now. And we've got to a place where some people, they've been called the devil. Both sides got a devil, right? No, you're the devil. 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 It takes one to know one. The Bible says, with what measure do you met? Because whatever judgment you're giving is a judgment that comes back to us. Whatever I'm seeing out there, it's a cosmic echo from the sound I'm making inside of me. There's only one of us here. And so I cannot afford to start thinking there's somebody out there that can cause me harm, because I get to think that. No, this is what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with otherizing, okay? It happens. It's normal to otherize. The trick is to know what to do when you find yourself otherizing. And that is, remember who you are. Remember Dorothy? All she had to do was click her heels because she never left home in the first place. That's a story about having a peace so deep that it cannot be disturbed. But she didn't know it couldn't be disturbed. You know what the lion said after he jumped on the elephant? I got you on this one. See, no, what did he say? What did he say? I'm going to make you wait for this one. He said, I didn't know. Sometimes we just don't know. And we fall into things. In practice, in Science of Mind, a foundational class, there's an exercise. It's called Autobiography in 5 chapters, I believe it goes. I walk down the street. There's a hole in the sidewalk. I don't see it. I fall in. It's not my fault. It takes me just about forever to get out. Chapter 2. I walk down the street. There's a hole in the sidewalk. I see it. I fall in anyway. It takes me just about forever to get out. Chapter 3. There's a walk down the street. There's a hole in the sidewalk. I see it. I walk around it. Chapter 4. I walk down the street. There's a hole in the sidewalk. Okay, I'm getting my jump. Okay. I walk down a different street. Okay, that's how it ends up. Okay, I'm getting my sequences mixed up. Okay? The idea is we have to do something different. The idea is when we find ourselves otherizing, that's the time to remember who we are. When we find ourselves otherizing, that's the time to reach out for an embrace. That's the time to ask questions about the person that I'm otherizing about. See, everybody's being motivated for their own self-interest, and their own self-interest is to keep them safe. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. Sometimes just me being me makes people feel unsafe. And that's just the way it is, and I have to live with that. I visited one of our own members in the hospital one time. She's laying up there with a diagnosis that says she's about to die. I'm visiting, we're sitting there, we're talking to her for about 30 minutes or so, and she says, you know, Reverend White, I got to tell you, when I first saw you walk through the room, into my room, all I saw was a big black man entering my room. I'm like, wow, that's right, I'm a big black man. You know? I don't necessarily see myself that way, but okay. People are otherizing us all the time, yes? What can we do when we find ourselves being othered? What's that? Love them. Yes. John says he otherizes himself with the compartmentalizing. That's the inner critic. The inner critic is always talking smack about you should have done it this way. And the inner critic is there because that's the voice of society that we've adopted as our own. That's the voice of the criticism that we heard growing up that we now personify as our own voice. And you can always tell when it's talking because it uses words like should. That's a big one. Should. I shouldn't do anything. I'm not shoulding on myself anymore. So it begins, yeah, that's a big joke we used to do all the time. Don't shit on yourself. Okay? And if somebody says should, you say, what, are you shitting on me? It's a good tool to use to just eliminate the word should, because it's an artificial construct that's being imposed upon us by our own selves at this point. We've decided, oh yes, this is the norm. This is the way it's supposed to. That's another one. Supposed to. And if you're from the South, it's supposed to. I should have known better. Of course, the Beatles got rich with that one, so, you know. Otherizing. So we talked about what otherizing is. It's fear-based. The idea that something is different and dangerous is xenophobic. That's what all the isms are about. Xenophobia. Xenophobia is my tribe. You got to protect my tribe. You know, it's all about the competition of resources, and my tribe needs them, my people need them. Everything else is separate. And it gives a reference in here about how all different cultures have demonized people outside of their culture. I'm not going to go through it because, quite frankly, just listing those things back to you is me parroting the otherizing that they use as an example, and I just don't want to reinforce it in my mind because I felt it when they said it. I said, yeah, that's right, yeah, that's right, yeah, that's right. We have to always be on the lookout for the other because there's no such thing as the other. All you will ever experience in your life is your own self being reflected back to you, and the own self that's being reflected back to you is not even you. It's just what you are projecting out into the universe as an expression of who you believe yourself to be, and that reflection is being fueled by the power and the presence of the divine, which is operating in and through and as all of creation. And so we take this divine power, and instead of focusing on our own resplendent beauty, our own power, our own majesty, our own glory, our own ability to be whatever we want to be, we put it out there where we create a boogeyman, villains. Sometimes they're in our family, sometimes, and bad stuff happens. Let me tell you something, people. Life is traumatic, okay? It is. It is. There's never been a time where there was no conflict in the world. Waiting for the day when it's going to be no conflict, it ain't going to happen. That's not natural. In nature, the big fish eat little fishes. Is that right? There's an African proverb that says, in Africa, every morning, the zebra gets up realizing it's got to outrun the fastest lion. And every morning, the lion gets up realizing it's got to outrun the slowest zebra. And so the message is, when you get up in the morning, run. Get busy. Because as my teachers say, meanwhile, when we're going through all our changes, all our mechanizations, and all Crimea River, meanwhile, Muwata, this is him talking to me, meanwhile, Muwata, life is happening. It's not waiting for us. Remember I said how life has always seemed to be moving a little bit fast for me? That's what I get. Oh, you've got to pay attention. You must be present to win this game. The only debt you'll ever pay in your life is attention. That's the only thing we need. And what am I paying attention to? I'm paying attention to how I am being in the moment. And Brother Ishmael says it beautifully. He says, just as the wave exists by the collective power of the entire ocean, I exist by the collective power of the entire universe. Yes? I mean, quite frankly, the universe had to be created in order for me to exist. If it wasn't for me, there wouldn't even be no dang universe. That's one way of looking at it, you see? And that empowers me. What's that? Because of me. That's right. Because of me. I had COVID back in the day. Which honestly reminded me. My little granddaughter was over. She must have been about 10 at the time. And I could hear her in there squealing with delight in the front room. I've been sick for about a week or so now. And I hear her, and she's entertaining, and she's just squealing and so happy. And man, if I could just, man, you're supposed to be in quarantine, dude. You can't go out there. Well, man, if I could just peek out around the corner and look at her, I'll go back to bed. And man, I started looking at her, and she was so full of joy and so full of life. I started feeling better. Because, see, there's only one of us here. That's those mirror neurons again. My mind saw her joyful and gleeful and excited and happy. This is the thing. You can look it up. Mirror neurons say, oh, we're supposed to, and it got activated. I started feeling better. Next thing I knew, I felt great. And I realized I don't even have a fever. I don't have any symptoms. And I told her, I said, Jasmine, you know, I was pretty sick when you got here, but didn't you came? I said, I was pretty sick, but now I'm feeling so much better. And she, without missing a beat, she said, because of me. The children be knowing. Because of me. You'll feel better because of me, Grandpa. And she was right. It's another kind of contagion. Joy. That's good, John. That's good. I like that. Okay? So today, people, it's always about self-reflection. It's about self-reflection because everything you look at is a reflection. Everything that's happening to you is the cosmic echo coming back. You can't escape. Teddy Pendergrass said, you can't hide from yourself. Everywhere you go, there you are. Yes? Yeah. So we're caught up in a cycle of self-knowingness. Is that right? We're in a cycle of self-knowingness. It's almost like God keeps showing up in different, saying, do you still love me? Can you still see me? Sometimes God is ugly, people. Sometimes God shows up as your worst nightmare. But if you can stay in the presence of the divine and look it in the eye and say, I know who you are. You've come to bless me. That's the only reason you can be in my life. Because everything about me is about self-reflection because I'm one with all of it. I'm one with the boogeyman. I created the boogeyman. I can uncreate the boogeyman. Yes? You've heard my story about Gary McDown used to chase me home from school every day in kindergarten. I didn't come to school one day. He chased my brother. My brother's not as fast as me. He caught up with my brother. My brother turned around and beat his butt. His older brother jumped in and Kwame whooped him too. People came, man, your brother beat up Gary and he beat up Butchie. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. That's not possible. Because I know I can beat up my brother and I can't beat them up. No. I was there. I saw your brother do it. And pretty soon they had me convinced. Guess what happened the next time I saw Gary? No, I didn't beat him up. But I chased him just like he ran me home from school. I started running him home from school. And I was fierce too, man. Never fought the man. But now I'm not afraid anymore. Do you understand? Now he's afraid. The only was just a shift in perception. One time I ran him up, he was ringing, oh, make him leave me alone. I'm at the, but yeah, you better run. I'm talking all kind of gang of stuff, man. Only thing changed was perception. People are all about perception. If you stand your ground, as people like to say. What ground am I standing? I'm always standing on holy ground. That's the ground I'm standing on. And only ground that exists in my life is holy ground. So everything I see is standing on holy ground because everything I see is the divine expressing in me, through me, and as me. And all these are different flavors of the ice cream that I'm grinding right now. Everybody's showing up to show me something that I need to work on. And sometimes they show me stuff that I don't want to work on. I heard a story about somebody who was angry about another person, very, very angry with this person. And he just had an irrational hatred for this person. And finally, he was just like, well, what happened? What did they do? Well, the person was a healer. Okay? And the response was, they forced me to look at something I didn't want to look at. And rather than get well, rather than get better, I'm going to otherize them and make them wrong for making me see. That's what everything is here to do. Make us see who we are. Challenge us to go deeper. Challenge us. Challenge me, okay? Challenge me. To find that peace so deep that it can't be disturbed. It's in all of us. There's a stillness that predates everything. It was here before the Big Bang. It was here before the Spirit of the Lord moved across the face of the water. It was here before let there be light. It says, and God separated the light from the darkness. Well, there was stillness before that. That stillness is the peace so deep that it cannot be disturbed, and that is who you are. That is your essence. And if you are being disturbed, it's because you are not in touch with your essence, and whatever it is that's ailing you, as my mom would say, or disturbing you, is here to help you get in touch with the stillness. So I bow to you, whoever you are. I know who you are. You are cleverly disguised as somebody who's ticking me the heck off right now. You are cleverly disguised as somebody I can't stand right now. You are cleverly disguised as somebody I'm afraid of or something I'm afraid of right now. But I see you, God. I know you, God. I see you, God. I know you, God. I respect you, man. I bow to all beings everywhere, all circumstances everywhere, because all beings and all circumstances are a reflection of my divine self. And the more, and I'm thinking about that prayer of Jabez when he's asking for his territory to be expanded, and I will serve you. And guess what happens? The territory gets expanded. The territory gets expanded as I do the serving. Do you understand? If I'm upset with Ron, you have to take a moment and get his name right. I've been messing his name up. Ron has never, let me talk about a peace that's so deep it cannot be disturbed. I must have known the brother 8 months and called him the wrong name for 8 months. He quit trying to correct me. He's like, okay, I know, you know what I'm saying? And Pure Angelique called him Ron one day. I was calling him Don. I said, no, his name is Don. She said, no, his name is Ron. I know, I've been calling him Don all this time. She said, yeah, he told me. You feel that right there? Guess what? After she broke it down like that, now I know his name was Ron. But his peace about that was so deep, he wasn't disturbed, but we called him a different name. Now you say, well, that's easy, that's simple. Yeah, that's true. Scripture says, what you're faithful for in small things, you'll be faithful in big things. It's all about practice. It's all about technique. It's all about what? Practice and technique. Everybody is here for me to practice on. That's just the truth. And I'm here for you to practice on. What do we practice on? Being our great selves. There's always more work to do. You know, this is California. There was a gold rush here, the Sutter's Mill. Sutter's Mill was already a gold mine that was played out when Colonel Sutter bought it for the mill, if I'm not mistaken. I might have my stack, sometimes I get sequence mixed up. But this is the story. His daughter was playing with mud that she collected dirt she got down by the river out at the fire. They didn't have electricity. She's at the fireplace doing this with the dirt, and he sees the dirt shining. He checks, oh my God, there's gold. They quit digging 3 feet from the mother lode. They quit digging where? I like to visualize that I'm 3 feet from the mother lode. And I said, why do I need to be 3 feet from the mother lode? Why are you going to impose that on yourself, Mwatcha, 3 feet from the mother lode? And it's my mind. Here's the thing about it, people. It's your mind. You get to do whatever you want with it. That is the power operating in us and through that. We actually have choice. It's the greatest, Victor, he said it's the last human dignity, our ability to choose. It's something nobody can take that away from us. We have to give that away. That's where the power is. What am I going to call this moment right now? Is this a blessing or is this a curse? Scripture says it comes out of your mouth, the blessing or the curse. And we know we can do either one, isn't that right? Some of us do equally well. I had to say something to a person on the train last Sunday. You wouldn't have recognized your reverend. But I'm going to tell you something. When I said it to him, I said it from a peace so deep that I could not be disturbed. And he heard that. You understand what I'm saying? He looked at me, youngster, taller than me. I said, brother, I ain't going to tell you what I said, but I tried to put it out on, I'm doing this thing with videos. I tried to put it on the video and say about it, but it's like it disappeared. I realized, okay, I don't get to advertise this. I'm telling y'all, but I'd been sitting there meditating about the whole thing. Disturbance on the train, I'm going to the peace so deep I cannot be disturbed. And I'm declaring there's absolute peace on this train. I know there's peace on this train. You know how I know? Because I'm here. And I'm the peace. Yes? Is that the truth? So I'm sitting there watching the whole thing, and finally it just unfolded. There were some children up by me, and this came up, and it got children involved. Well, that's a thing that's personal to me. And I felt I needed to speak, but I didn't break formation, people. I didn't break character. I did not leave the stillness. I'll tell you something. I didn't know how powerful the stillness was until I looked in that young man's eyes and spoke to him from there. And he recognized it. I was respectful, sort of, You are a stillness so deep that you cannot be disturbed. Are you feeling me on this? The only thing that can disturb you is when you choose. But the four agreements say to take it personally. And you're going to take things personally, people. Don't take it personally that you're taking stuff personally. It's normal, just like otherizing. The thing to do is know what to do. Have a strategy to get back into the stillness. And that is to remember that beautiful song John plays. You can tell me who did. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. That's what it's all about. Bring up an image of another. You got them, you got them. Can you remember who you are in the face of the other? Because if you can remember who you are in the face of that other, then you can know who they are. And the reason you don't know who they are is because you haven't accepted who you are. And there's a flagman in the middle of the road waving the lantern saying, the bridge is out. Pay attention. Pay attention. You're stuck in duality. You're stuck in lack. You're stuck in limitation. You're stuck in fear. You're stuck in rage. You're in a cycle of lack and limitation. How dare you wake me up from my nightmare? How dare you? Now I have to be mad at you. You didn't have the right to wake me up from my... No, I wanted to wake up from my nightmare. That's why they're here, you see. If I'm on your nerves, you ordered me to be on your nerves. Now, you don't have to get well. You can get mad. That's the choice I have too. Are there people that you're thinking about right now? Are there circumstances that you're thinking about right now? See, there's gold in the mine right now, and you are the gold mine. Are you going to mine the gold? Or are you going to turn it into a sawmill? Sawmills are beautiful. There's nothing wrong with a sawmill. I'd get to be a sawmill if I want to, yes? I don't really have a whole lot else to say. Except that right where I am and just as I am, the power and the presence of God. Dr. Holmes says the manifest universe is the body of God. That means the entire universe is the body of God. Yes? I am an aspect, a part of this manifest universe, yes? That means I am the body of God. Jesus told the disciples at the Last Supper, this is my body. Yes? People say, well, okay, we just keep taking communion, but what does it mean? How is it elevating me? Oh, it's just the body of Christ. Okay, but wait a second. Christ was the example, not the exception. It's a consciousness. So that means I can consume the consciousness of oneness when I bless it and consecrate it and declare it to be that. That's what saying grace is about. I'm blessing this food knowing that this food is divine. Yes? So we pray for those who despitefully use us, so we can get used to the idea that nothing can despitefully use me. In order for me to pray, I have to know there's something bigger than the circumstance, and I'm it. Yes? Namaste. Offering. So, I'm kind of out there right now, so I'm trying to bring myself back in. I'm thinking maybe somebody else might need to do this because it might take me a minute. So, it's our time for offering, time to share, time to invest in a consciousness that is serving us and a community that is serving us. It's the way we do service. And we invest in the idea that God is all there is and I'm one with God, and we want to spread this idea to everybody. It'd be really good during this election cycle if there were those of us who could stay in that undisturbed peace, whichever way we vote. Be the divine presence everywhere you go. Declare peace and be that peace. This idea is catching fire. I know it's catching fire because I'm a fire starter. And I'm starting fires of this idea everywhere I go. I invite each of you to be fire starters and light fires of consciousness, of a stillness so deep it cannot be disturbed. Everywhere you go, how do you do that? By being still and inviting people into that space. So if this is a valuable idea, if this is something that's worth spreading around the world, that's what this is right now. It's also about keeping the building and the lights and the people. It's also about that. But more importantly, it's about prosperity, knowing that I'm going to keep my resources in circulation because it's designed to be in circulation, because that way I demonstrate prosperity and not hoarding, which is poverty. So enough said about that. We have an affirmation that we do every week. You repeat after me, as Daniel will bring forth the baskets. We thank you for your contribution. Please repeat after me. From a consciousness of abundance
From a consciousness of abundance
and centered in gratitude,
and centered in gratitude,
I generously give.
I generously give.
I accept the gifts of prosperity and abundance
I accept the gifts of prosperity and abundance.
as I demonstrate divine circulation in my life.
Demonstrate divine circulation in my life.
In gratitude, I freely give. In joyful acceptance, I freely receive.
In joyful acceptance, I freely receive.
So it is.
If you're giving online, the address, thank you, is give@sfcsl.org, and that's for PayPal and Zelle. Thanks. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering.
And in this remembrance, we give thanks, gratefully, open and receptive, both giving and receiving, comes from the same place in consciousness, a place of wholeness, a place of understanding that it is sourced by the divine. And so in gratitude for all that has been given and all that is being received, I bless this offering and declare it wonderful, and so it is.
So it is.
And so I invite each one of us into the stillness, allowing ourselves to simply breathe, to be consciously aware that I do not have to give effort into breathing, for the truth is that there is always that which is breathing each one of us. It is the presence of God. Every inhale is a witness that I am breathing in life itself. And every exhale is a witness to my breath contributing to the singular breath of all life. The truth is that there is one divine existence. It is that which we call God. And that God has loved itself into existence as every living being. So right where I am, right where every person is, all life is the divine. I know that God, the magnificent, the divine creator, has birthed itself as all nature, all individuals, and the collective consciousness of the universe. I am that same substance. That same creative energy exists within me. And I know that the word that I speak about myself is the word that is spoken about everyone, because there is only one. And so I open in full receptivity to the blessings of God abounding in my life. I know that every relationship is a relationship that is among like beings. Whether I consciously enjoy the presence of anything, I know that divinity is well past my liking. It is the wholeness of life.
Everything I approve of and don't approve of, everything I like and don't like, everyone, every experience, it is all. It is all there is. And so I accept that my body temple is a blessing, and that I move through life in human form, being the presence of God everywhere that I am, 'cause of me. All existence, all experiences, all situations, 'cause of me. And when I stand in that place of power, I know that anything that I want to change is 'cause of me. And I have that power. I have that divine authority. I have that presence within me to create the universe within my own being, 'cause of me. And so I bless all. I bless every, and I especially bless myself. Anytime that I forget, I correct my course in consciousness and come back into the understanding that I am the presence of God. And all things are 'cause of me.
Yes,
And so gently and easily I walk through life. That peace, that power, that awareness is my very existence, 'cause of me. And so I surrender this word. I release it in the heart of gratitude to the immutable, all-existent cause of all life. It is the law and the love of God. And in deep gratitude, I declare that it is manifest here and now exactly as it has been spoken, 'cause of me. And so it is.
So it is. I like that, 'cause of me. It'd be a good website. 'Cause of me.
It's a powerful knowing out of the mouth of babes. She was clear. 'Cause of me.
Oh, was your granddaughter said that? No.
Our granddaughter, yeah.
Wow.
She was serious too. So sometimes I send her text messages and I'm like, hey, 'cause of me. And she answers because she knows.
I didn't have COVID no more. That's all I knew. That blew my mind. I said, wow.
Instantly healed. And so announcements, I just want to begin with absolute gratitude. It is so joyful to just be able to look at the faces of love, to look at the faces of the divine present here. Reverend Mawata used to say frequently, it's not the center and its people, it's the center as its people. And that is an absolute truth. We are the San Francisco Center for Spiritual Living. That is just the truth of who we are. And so I want to express gratitude for Nikki. Thank you for taking over there and making sure that that's all operating really well. I appreciate you very much. And John and Meredith, how beautiful, very strong and powerful. Nothing like music just brings us all to that center and that place. Plus, you're both looking real snazzy today, I have to say. So, for sure. And then just the Brunos, I want to thank you all very much. And just know that we love you always. Yeah. And the Mashburns, thank you all so much too. What a divine family. It's like it's a real testament to knowing who you are, and then you birth that in your daughter, and then she births that in her children, and it just keeps on going. And it doesn't mean we don't have stuff. We all have stuff, because as my friend likes to say, life be lifing. So, but it's knowing what to do when life is lifing, and it is just simply to remember. Just remember, yeah. I want to thank Michelle, and I think who may have left already, but was in here earlier, and Alicia
She's
in the
there.
kitchen.
Oh, Michelle left.
Yeah, she may have. I'm not sure. But Michelle and Alicia have helped to put together the beautiful spread that we will enjoy in fellowship with one another. Please remind me of your name.
Tony.
Tony, that's right. I'm sorry, Tony, because I know you. just not your name in that moment. But Tony, who, when we drove up, we had a whole bunch of new stuff to put in the kitchen. And Dan, you weren't here, man. So we were like, Tony, let's go. Yeah, we've kind of, well, I've always been like that because I just surrender to, okay, somebody else get all this stuff. But Reverend Mawata was like, well, where's a young man I can find? So thank you all very much. And speaking of that, when we are complete here in the service, help in moving chairs and getting the tables out so that we can set up to enjoy that fellowship with one another would be very much appreciated. And then at the close of fellowship, help in the kitchen cleaning up is always really greatly appreciated, very much. So lastly, oh, you have an announcement? Oh, thank you, Linda, for reminding us of that. I feel new. I think that counts too. But thank you for that. And then last announcement is if anyone is wanting prayer at the close of service, I am what's called a practitioner here, practitioner emeritus actually, and which means that I've been a practitioner for over 20 years. So I would be my absolute pleasure to pray with anyone who is wanting prayer, either for something you're wanting to surrender and give over to God, or for a joy you would like magnified. Either one of those works beautifully. Just come. You're not bothering me. It is an absolute pleasure to pray because it's an honor, because the prayer, in order to move into the universe, goes through me. So thank you for that. So please come and find me if you desire that. Any other announcements?
I like that idea about a gratitude you might want to magnify. I don't know how you said that exactly.
Absolutely. Because usually typically we come for prayer when it's like, and it's like, no, I got some good stuff going on and I would like another helping of that. All right. Thank you all so much. John and Meredith.
Here we go again.
So this song is about love, myself first, then y'all,
I wanted that song.
then the world, and then back to me. I love myself the way I am.
Actually, perfect song all the time. That's an anthem right there.
Oh, I just want to say, because I don't believe I've ever said this, John, thank you so much just for your beingness and your ability to jump into whatever I'm doing, because sometimes I don't know. But I so appreciate you.
He's good like that.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
I love myself the way I am. There's nothing that I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and And I love myself just the way I am. I love you all just the way you are. There's nothing that you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, and it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and your tears, I see your shining sun. And I love y'all just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things that I judge are done by people just like me. So until the birth of peace on earth that only this love can bring, I will help it grow by loving everything. I love myself just the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come from deep within. I know I am beautiful, yes I am, and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am, just the way I am, yes. I love myself, and I love you too, just the way we all are. Just the way we are, just the way we all are. Thank you.
I'm still kind of out there.
Sure.
Thank you one and all for being present today, walking the journey with me and doing the work. Be in the stillness. I'm telling you, being in the stillness is contagious. It is so powerful. So we leave here completely in touch with that depth so deep that it cannot be disturbed. That the pristine stillness resonates at the core of each and every one, leading and guiding and directing our path, speaking as we speak, is active in every activity and every affair. It's the beating heart. We leave here knowing. You can repeat after me, please. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects and watches over me. The wisdom of God guides and directs me. The substance of God supplies, supports, and sustains me.
supports and sustains me.
The stillness of God is me. Wherever I am, wherever I go, whatever I think, do, or say, God is, and all is well, and so it is.
So it is. Let's gather in a circle and sing, I'm the place where God shows up.
Indeed I am.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up.
I really am. It's the truth.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. You are the place. You are the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. You are the place where God shows up. We are the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up.
Yes, I. Yes, I. Thank you, thank you, thank you.